Here we go.
Okay, so today we're going to work on back, neck and shoulders, and maybe add a little more work and no equipment. So we're going to start on our hands and knees. Just take a moment and make sure, look at your shoulders and make sure they're right over your wrists and your hips are right over your knees. And we're just going to begin into cats and cows. So as you exhale, feel that lower back reaching towards the ceiling. And as you inhale, aim your chest towards the floor. So a lot of people ask me about ways to be on their hands and knees without putting too much weight on their wrists. So there's a couple things we can do here. One is do fists for wrists so that you can really press up, feel those arms energizing up. You could do your best to come onto your fingertips, which really makes you use your upper arms. Or you can grab some weights, a heavier weight, because then you have room for your fingers underneath it, and that helps with fists for wrists too. So there's tons of little things you can do, or worst case scenario, you come down to your forearms and you're nice and even on your forearms. So wherever you are, we're just going to start in our cats and cows. And if you just signed in, please make sure that you are muted. And we're just going to come into our cats and cows, working through our spines. Think of connecting your breath to the movement. So it doesn't matter if you're exhaling and inhaling in one or the other pose, but I definitely want your breath to connect to the movement you're doing. So I'm showing all different options. And you can play around with it too. So maybe you're used to exhaling into cat pose like I'm doing right now and inhaling into cow. But maybe you want to change it up a little. Exhale into cow and inhale into cat and see how that feels. Notice how the breath changes the movement and how the movement changes the breath. Okay, so from here, just bring your right foot back, keeping your hips even, and lift that leg up. And just watch that you're really lifting. And we're just going to lift and lower that top leg. Just 4 more here, and you can point or flex, or you can keep it neutral. 2 and 1, and bring that knee in and switch. Bring your left foot back and lift and lower, and just really watch that we're not overarching in that lower back. Keeping those hips even. 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. And then separate your knees to the wider edges of the mat and sit back into child's pose. Get your hips towards your heels. You can just rest like this. If it feels okay, you can come all the way down. And same thing, just breathe and focus on inhaling into that lower back region. Let your forehead rest onto the mat. This is a really great place to set your intention. And your intention can be anything. The easiest way is to think of just one thing you're thankful for. And let that help you stay present. Stay anchored into the moment you're in right now. Letting go of all the extra thoughts that pop into our heads. On your next exhale, come back to tabletop. And we're going to just reach one arm forward at a time. And same thing, if you're really struggling, you can do it from here. So there's lots of different ways to approach a movement. And we're going to finish up by extending opposite arms and legs. And just pay attention to the evenness in your body. Just a couple more. And then everybody have a seat. So we can sit whatever feels right to you. So you can sit propped up on something, you can sit cross-legged, maybe Baddha Konasana, whatever feels natural and good to you. And we're going to sit nice and tall, shoulder blades down, and reach your right arm to the sky and glide that shoulder blade up and down. Really getting through the shoulder joint. Plug it in, and we're going to lift up and over. Think of the ribs on the left side of your body lifting, getting a stretch in the right side. Take a moment here and breathe. And come up and switch sides and start with the gliding of the shoulder blade, just so you can feel the difference. So I do this because a lot of times when we get tense, this kind of thing happens. And if you can really feel the difference, then lift the ribs on the right side as you lift up and over, and really feel the stretch in the left side of the body. And see if you can just breathe, and instead of bouncing, just think of lengthening with every breath. And then come back up, and let's bring the soles of our feet together and just let those knees reach towards the floor. So just stay here, and with every breath, see if you can come down a little lower. Notice maybe one side, if you could see yourselves in the camera, maybe one side is higher than the other. And then lean forward. So if you can come as low as this and get your forearms to your shins, great. If not, that's okay. You just go wherever you can, and you can also change the positioning of your feet, whatever works for you. Then come back up and just extend out one leg and place the other foot on your inner thigh. So ideally, if you're matching me and your mat is to the sides, this will work out really well. So if your mat is going this way, maybe take a moment to turn it around. And we're just going to lift up your left arm and reach up and over again. So find the same stretch in a different way. So to challenge yourselves, can you extend your bottom arm out? And maybe, and you can always bring it back down if you need to, maybe open up that top arm behind you a little. Again, finding that deep breath throughout your body. And then exhale and come up. So if I had had the circle, we would do what we did in class on Friday, but instead, I'm just going to have you go like genie arms. And we're going to think of keeping your wrists or the middle of your arms intersecting the middle of your body, and we're just going to twist towards your right leg. Then come back center and do it again. So we're just twisting from the rib cage towards the right leg. So what I'm hoping you're beginning to feel is some oblique work. It also helps open up that whole rib cage area. So we really want to get some motion, some mobility in the ribs, in the spine, around the thoracic spine. So face that right leg and bring your hands down and see how far forward you can bring your body. So if something doesn't feel right, maybe your knee is pulling, you can always adjust your leg. You can always put something under the knee to support it. And if you have something handy to help you reach the bottom of your foot, if you can't reach the bottom of your foot with your hands, or you can just grab wherever you can grab. Just take a couple deep breaths here. And everybody's going to feel this differently. Most of us might feel it in the back and a little bit in the hamstring. And then come back up to sitting. And we're just going to lay completely onto your left side. And we're going to start propped up. So start and just look, make sure your knees are in line with your shoulders. And all I want you to do, and you don't have to do this, But I'd like for you to think about right under here, pressing your forearm into the mat to lift your hips up and then come down. So maybe that's super easy for you. Extend out your top leg and do it again. And maybe that's super easy for you. Extend out both legs and do it here. So you want to take your time and see if you could find your balance. And it's a lot of work in here. And then come back down. Bend your knees, lift your feet, and we're going to open and close that top leg 10 times. Believe it or not, even though you think this is a hip exercise, which it does benefit, it's really a good one for the back. We want pelvic stability. It may not feel like a whole lot to you, but it's something. Keep the bottom leg bent, extend the top leg, and at any point, if this is too much up here, lay on your side. All I want you to do here is draw tiny little circles with that top leg. And reverse it. Really lengthening. We don't want to go too high. We want to keep everything in alignment. And then we're going to drop that leg and lift it just to the parallel to the floor. Really lifting in here. At this point, you should start to feel a little something. I hope. I hope I am not the only one feeling something. Come up here and we're going to flex that foot forward and point that leg back. Take your time. Let your breath guide you through the movement. If you like, you can extend your arm in opposite directions. And one more thing, I want you to bicycle that top leg. So really see if you can find stabilization, lifting, and reverse the circle. So you're bicycling backwards, just 4. And rest. And we're going to do one more set of lifting the feet and opening and closing that top leg. Just 5 more. So I'm only doing 10, 9, and 10. And lay completely on your side. Knees up high. Interlace your fingers behind your head and rest for a second. Knees up nice and high. Think of pressing your shoulder blades towards your hip as you lift your top elbow up. And then look at that elbow and start to roll back. Think of aiming your shoulder blades towards the floor behind you. With every breath, allow yourself to unwind a little more. So I really invite you to pause the recording if you're doing this on video and just let yourself unwind. Feel yourself decompress. Feel yourself growing taller. You can hold it longer if you like, but I'm going to unwind. And I'm just going to see if you can grab your top ankle with your top hand. You can always find a spot in your leg that works for you. And we're just going to make sure that top leg is parallel to the floor. And press your foot into your hand and press your foot back, hopefully feeling a stretch in your quadricep, possibly even in your neck and shoulders. And then let that leg rest behind you and roll to your back. So everybody should be on their backs. And we're going to do what we usually do to start, and we're just going to start some pelvic tilts. So I just want you to rock your pelvis so you feel no space between your back and the floor. And then release. And we're just going to take our time exhaling and inhaling and getting a nice sense of our bodies connected to the floor. And see how everything connects. And then walk your feet to the wider edges of the mat and windshield wiper your legs side to side. Let both legs drop to the left and stay there. Interlace your fingers back behind your head and pick up that top elbow and bring it to the floor on that side. So I'm hoping you're feeling a stretch maybe in your lower back, maybe all the way through to the front. And then bring your legs on top of each other, and this time bring your top arm forward. Now you can do whatever you want with the bottom arm. You're going to bring that top arm forward, bring it to the ceiling, and roll back. And just notice what your body is telling you. Unravel, take your top leg behind you and press yourself up to sitting. So this might not be a very comfortable position for you. So I have a couple suggestions. If this feels terrible to you, you could either prop yourself up a little bit higher so you can grab a couple yoga blocks or a pillow, whatever works for you. If that still doesn't work for you, you can change your legs to sitting cross-legged, whatever works for you. So the leg that's in front, you're going to take that arm and bring it more towards the hip. And you're going to take the other arm and bring it towards the knee. You can walk your hands out a little, and that back hip should be off the floor. So as you exhale, I want you to go back to cat and cow and exhale, press that back hip into the floor as you curve your lower back. And as you inhale, think of looking forward through a window as you reach your chest forward. And then we're just going to rock into our sideways cat and cow, really working again through the lower back. So the more you do this, the better this position will feel to you. So that's why I like to suggest starting a little higher, so that you're working towards opening that whole area up. But if it's really uncomfortable, find a way that works for you. The next time that hip comes to the floor, come sideways, come back up and take a counter stretch, and then bring the soles of your feet together back to that Baddha Konasana. So you can start with those knees up high and just see where you can go in this position, finding the position for you. And maybe lean forward again. And then sit up tall and extend out the other leg. So find an evenness in your sit bones. And we're going to go back to those genie arms, shoulder blades down, and twist from your ribs towards the left leg. Continue to twist, and I really want you to feel the movement in your rib cage. So if you want, you could do what I'm doing. The only thing is, when I do this, I see a lot of people moving their arms all over the place. So I figured if we do it like this, it gives you more of a sense of where I want you to work from. Then face the leg and walk as far forward as it feels okay to you. If you need to, you can grab a strap. If you can grab your ankle or your foot, whatever works for you. I like the ankle. It's a nice, doable position. Just notice where you feel this the most and breathe into it and then release. Maybe feel yourself sinking a little deeper, and then come back up, and we're going to lift up that right arm and glide the shoulder blade down as you lift up and over. And if it feels okay, extend that bottom arm so you know that you're not sinking. You could always bring that arm back down and open that top arm behind you. Unravel, and we're going to lay completely onto your right side. Knees up. You can push up from here, or you can always come back down. I probably will at some point during this exercise. So bring your knees so everything is stacked and see if this is doable. That might be all you do. You might not even do that. Top leg up, and that's where I stay. So you find where it works for you. If you could put your bottom leg under, I want you to do what you know is best. Then come back down, lift your feet, and open and close that top leg 10 times. Maybe bring those legs in a little more. Try not to roll back. I don't want you to get into your neck. I see a couple rollbacks. I lost count, so I'm gonna guess one more. Then we're gonna come back down. And you could stay up here. I'm gonna lay on my side. You can stay up if you want. We're gonna extend that top leg. You can keep the bottom leg bent or straighten it out and draw a tiny circle with that top leg 8 times. And reverse it. And then just lower and lift, and lower and lift. Four more. This is good for knee health too, if anybody's struggling with knee issues. 2 more. Keep that leg straight, flex the foot forward and point it back. If you like, you can use your opposite arm, or I should say same arm but opposite direction. Taking your time. Stay there for a moment. Bring your arm down. Let's bicycle that top leg 4 times one way. I'm feeling it. I hope I'm not the only one. Just make sure you're not sinking into that top shoulder. And your choice, you can remain down. You can prop yourself back up, and we're going to do 10 more of these. Just 2 more. I cramp my toes. Okay, so from here, we're gonna interlace our fingers behind our heads, elbows forward, knees up high. Pick up that top elbow and roll back, getting a nice stretch through your thoracic spine. I'm gonna scooch up a little because I'm not hitting the wall, so get a nice opening all the way down your spine. Most everybody will feel this mostly in the chest area. Some of us feel it in our lower backs. Just breathe and release. I'd love to hold this longer, but we're going to unravel. And from here, take that leg behind you and come up to sitting. I know I'm forgetting something, but that's good that we have the other side complete. So notice how it feels on this side. If it feels uncomfortable, you could prop yourself up. And I apologize, I have thought I had Do Not Disturb on. So now from here, walk both hands to that side of the mat, and we're just going to curve and lengthen. Exhale and curve, inhale, lengthen. Really feeling your spine opening up. I'm also hoping you feel toning in the abdominals. It's small, it's subtle, but it's there. One more. Does anybody else feel that releasing? I'm hoping you're feeling this is starting to release. The hip is releasing. We're going to come back up, take a counter stretch, and we're going to come down one more time. And you can pick whatever you want to do with that bottom arm. The top arm's going to reach forward and you're going to come back and look over the shoulder. Your arm can extend flat. I'm running into the wall. Just stay here and release. Unwind. Bring that leg back again and come up and come back up to Baddha Konasana. Okay, I know somewhere along the line I kind of messed that up, but we'll figure it out. So from here we're going to lean. I know what I forgot, but it's not important because we already did it once and it wasn't a two-sided thing. One more time, calm down. Come back up, and this time bring both legs in front of you. Sitting nice and tall, finding yourself tall on your sit bones. And just bring your arms up like you're a sleepwalker. And think of pressing that lower back into an imaginary wall as you reach forward. So we just want to keep this pressing back so you're getting a tone in the belly and you're not over curving in your upper body. Then unwind yourself back up to sitting tall. And let's just bend the right knee. You can use your leg to support you so you're not pulling too much, and bring your right hand behind you. Sit tall and look over that right shoulder. Unravel. Bring your right arm on the inside of that right leg and press and look over your left shoulder. Some people do this, whatever works for you. Then unravel and switch legs. Holding on to that left leg, sitting tall, bringing your left hand behind you. Sit tall, look over your left shoulder. Unravel, bring your left arm in the inside of your left leg and look over the right shoulder. And come back forward. So now everybody come to the very front part of their mat. Grab your legs with your hands, and I want everybody to roll back nice and slow and getting your backs back on the mat. Wrapping your hands around your shins, take simultaneously leg circles with your knees going out. And reverse it. And bring your feet to the mat, and let's do some bridging. So take your time, come back to that pelvic tilt. So just a little bit, and then press your lower back into the mat so your bottom of your hips are up, and then start to continue to lift those hips up slowly, making sure the ribs stay lower than the hips. Stay here. Lift a little higher into those hips. Maybe draw those thigh bones together. Keep your gaze straight ahead. Hold this and breathe. Continue working on lifting those hips as high as you can. And then slowly, reluctantly bring your spine down to the mat. And I'm hoping you're starting to feel each part of that spine rolling into the floor, making sure that your tailbone is the last thing to come to the floor. So maybe bring those feet in a little closer and let's peel up again. Leading with the tailbone, lifting up, feeling as if your knees could touch that wall in front of you. Continue to lift. Keep those ribs down, pressing your feet into the mat. Lengthen and lift. And roll back down. And bring your feet to the wider edges of the mat and lift up again. So just start here, real light, just a little bit up. Come up, 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 up. Hopefully you're feeling your hamstrings. Up as high as you can get it. So what I see a lot of is this. Now, I don't know if you can see that. I see a lot of this when I ask people to do bridging. It's a whole different story if you get those hips up, and I just cramped up. So you really want to take your time and work through it
And that is something that might happen, which is okay because we really do want to strengthen those muscles in the back. Bring your legs together again. This time walk your feet a little wider and peel up again, reaching those knees forward. Lift those hips up. Good. And come back down. I came down fast because I cramped up again. So come back up. Strangely enough, I usually cramp up in the right side, but that left side is giving me grief. And come back down again. So the only reason I'm not doing one-legged at a time is because I had a lot of requests for lower back health, and if your back is acting up, it's better to stay even. So we don't want to do one leg at a time. So we're just going to lift up a little bit again. Stay here. See if you could lift up a little higher. See if you could lift up a little higher. Come down a little. Come up a little. Come down a little. Come up a little. Down a little, stay here, come down a little more, peel back up. Stay here. Can you get your hands under your sacrum? So you got more of a lift. Keep those ribs down. If that is too much for you, do what you can do. And then slowly, slowly, slowly roll all the way down. And then bring your legs under your hands and start to roll forward a little. And then roll back. I'm not asking you to come all the way up. Roll forward a little more and roll back. Roll forward a little more. See if you can get yourself just to boat pose. Then let your legs relax and slowly roll down again. Get a nice massage in your back. Bring your legs to the wider edges of the mat and windshield wiper those legs side to side. Let both legs drop to the left. Stay there. Interlace your fingers behind your head again and lift your elbow and bring it to the floor. So we did this on this side already, so we're not going to hold it long. And then you're going to roll back and let both legs drop the other way and bring up that elbow and bring it all the way to the floor and just stay here for a couple breaths to even everything out. So we're definitely even. I remember what I forgot, and we're doing it. My hope is you might feel a stretch here all the way through to your front. This is good for everybody. And roll back. Those are really good. I'd love for you to hold them longer. So the next thing we're going to do is place your hands under your hips and just let one foot come down at a time. So I started right away in a more advanced version. If you want to make this a little easier, just come from here. This is a good beginning place. It's really good. It helps you. It keeps you stable. For those of you who want more of a challenge, come here and lengthen your legs for even more of a challenge. So from here, if you're okay here, extend your right leg up, wrap your hands around your right calf, and use that leg to keep your head and shoulders off the mat. The bottom leg is off the floor. Both legs are straight. I want you to go inhale, inhale, exhale, exhale, inhale, inhale, exhale, exhale. Nobody should feel neck pain. So if you feel neck pain, first I want you to see if you could really use your legs to help you out. If you still feel it, just do it from here. Either version is fine. And rest. Take a couple of those circles and reverse it. And then keep your legs into tabletop, hands behind your head. Start with just the legs. Extend one leg and bring both together. So it's an exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. keeping the pelvis even. You can go higher if your back doesn't like this. Bring both legs in. Exhale, lift your head and shoulders. Let your head rest into your hands. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Take your time. I'm going a little fast. I really want you to feel those obliques and your abdominal muscles. I also want you to feel how you can twist easily from the ribs. So I'd say we can do this for about 10 more minutes. I'm glad I have everybody on mute. I'm sure I'd hear a lot of yelling. Give me one more each side. And come in and rest. Whew. Okay, so waist stretch without a strap. Extend your left leg straight. Wrap your hands around your right leg and just slowly bend and straighten that right leg. So I'm flexing my foot, but you can point and flex. And straighten out that leg as much as you're able to. You have your hands around your hamstring. And press your leg into your hands and inhale into a deeper stretch. Maybe bring your hands higher. Press your leg into your hands. Inhale, release. One more time. Press into your hands. Inhale, release. So wherever you have your leg, if you need to, you could bend the leg, whatever works for you. I want you to open up that right leg to the right side on a diagonal, getting a nice inner thigh stretch deep into the hamstring. You go wherever it's best for you. And then bring that leg back center, bend the knee, and cross that right leg all the way over to the left side, keeping both shoulders on the floor. Take a couple deep breaths here, really opening everything up. And roll back. Both feet on the mat. Cross your right knee on top of your left. So we're not doing this, we're just here. From here, as you exhale, lift your head and shoulders off the mat. Reach your hands forward. Lift your feet up and grab the closest leg to the closest hand and let your legs rest into your hands. Roll back down, and your legs are just resting into your hands, and if it feels okay, tilt your legs an inch to the left. You should feel a nice stretch on the right side. Your legs are relaxing into your hands. Unravel. Bring your left foot to the mat, and now bring your ankle over that thigh. And I'm not asking you to push your leg, I'm just asking you to support it. So your leg is just resting into your hand, your shoulders are down. You can start by rolling side to side. Come center and lift that left leg off the mat. If you'd like to go deeper, wrap around your shin. If you really want to feel it, go to your left. Unravel. Bring your right leg all the way to the mat. Hug your left leg into your hands. Wrap around that hamstring and slowly straighten and bend that leg. Good. So you're looking straight ahead. I'm just looking because I'm watching everybody in class. Everybody's looking really good. If you can, straighten out that right leg. It'll help with the stretching. If it doesn't feel good, always readjust. You can point and flex, whatever works. Straighten out that left leg as much as you can and press your leg into your hand and inhale, release. If you'd like, you can climb higher. If not, stay wherever you are. Press your leg into your hand and inhale, release. And one more time. Press into your hands, inhale, release, and open up that left leg on a diagonal to the left side. Keep that right hip anchored into the floor, feeling a stretch in the inner thigh and hamstring of the left leg. Getting a nice stretch in the hip flexor on the right side. And then bring that leg carefully back center, bend the knee and cross that leg all the way over and turn your head to look over the back arm. Take a couple deep breaths here. So for those of you who asked for neck and shoulders, believe it or not, this is a really good one for the neck. Everything is connected. Unravel back to your back. Cross your left knee on top of your right. Lift your legs up, wrap your hands to the closest leg, letting your legs relax into your hands. If you want, you can tilt your legs a little towards the right, getting a stretch in the left side. Unravel, place the one foot on the mat, slide the ankle over the thigh and gently find the support. So you're not really pushing, you're just giving yourself stabilization. And then you could rock side to side. And if you want more, you could pick up that bottom leg or grab your shin and lay all the way back, letting your legs rest into your hands. So I use my elbow to help keep that leg stabilized, and then tilt your legs a little to the right. Take a deep breath here. Unravel and find your way into happy baby. So you want to bring your knees towards the floor by your armpits, tilt your tailbone to the floor, and then bring your feet to the mat. And for today, I'm going to have you bring your knees together, feet apart. You should be comfortable here. Take your arms and cross your arms over your body and close your eyes for a moment. Take a nice deep breath, and when you release, change the cross of your arms and notice how that feels. And then however you want to come up to sitting, you can sit however feels good to you. We're going to sit nice and tall, however feels the best position for you. And I'm going to challenge you to change the cross of your legs, because that's probably not what you would like better, but it's good to balance ourselves out. Then sitting tall, I want you to think like you have a high ponytail and somebody's pulling it to the sky. Your shoulders are down, and you're just going to lift your right ear towards the sky. Keep your shoulders even. Everybody's looking pretty good. Get a nice release in the side of your neck. And then look down at your left armpit. Take your left hand behind your head and press your head into your hand. Release it, and then roll your chin center. Lift your head up. Let your left ear reach towards the sky. Just stay here with your shoulders even. Then look down at your right armpit. Take your right hand behind your head, press your head into your hand. Release, roll your chin center. Lift your head up. Inhale your hands into Jai Mudra and let your thumbs find their way to your third eye and to your heart. Roll your shoulders down and gently gaze at your fingertips. I wish you all love, peace, joy, and wonderful good health always. Namaste. And I'm going to turn off the recording, so if anybody wants to chat, I have a couple minutes. If not, have a beautiful day.